Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Trevor drops. Looking, fires toward the goal line. But he caught for the touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. for the score. Second and goal from a 1-foot line. They hand it to Tank toward the goal line. Touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown run by Tank Bigsby, and the Jags have taken the lead to the 10-yard line, right up the middle of the field. 20, 25, 30, into the open field. Parker Washington along left sideline. 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Parker Washington just brought it all the way back, and the Jags have extended the lead. How good is that? They'll run it with Bigsby again to the middle of the field, lowers his shoulder, into the end zone, touchdown. And that's the icing on the cake here in London. Tank Bigsby for the score.
It is a great team effort. Offense, defense, special teams. We always say just try to go 1-0. We got to go 1-0. And we got to keep going 1-0. And we got to keep going 1-0. But you got to keep the same intensity, and you got to keep the same energy that we had this week. Okay? And then continue to love on each other. You got to continue to do that. Embrace each other. All right? That's what I saw today. Hey, great job, man. Fantastic. One more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
Oh, good morning, everybody. We are just here to love on one another and bask in the glow of a Jaguar victory for at least one more day, or at least half a day, Tony. It's Wednesday. It's kind of midweek. We crest at about 11 o'clock, and then we start to slide towards the Green Bay Packers. Why am I irrationally optimistic about how they might play against the Green Bay Packers this week? I don't know. It is irrational. I did throw irrational in there, but I feel sometimes you go into a game and you're like, I just really didn't feel this. I picked the Jags to beat the Bears. I think I had them right at the end of or pretty low in the confidence picks, but I might have had them like second to last. But I felt like I think I picked like a 1-point win. My heart wasn't in it.
Felt shaky.
I'm not sure I'm picking the Jags to win this week. I just feel like I don't know. Am I getting swept up in just the fact that they won a football game and it's not all doom and gloom for 2 days? I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like, and maybe it is just totally irrational, I just feel like they've got a pretty good chance this week.
I don't think it's irrational given that, as we were talking about here for the last couple days on the show, right? Trevor Lawrence feels like he's in the middle of one of these heater runs, right? And if Trevor Lawrence is going to be hot, then they have a chance to win week to week with Trevor Lawrence playing the way that he's playing right now for the football team. He at least gives them a chance to win week to week. The run game is working so well right now. The confidence level you can have on the offensive side of the ball right now, because the offensive line has gotten out of the way, right? We've had 3 weeks in a row now here basically where we're like, the offensive line is doing the job. If the offensive line gives the offense a chance to be really good and score week to week, then they got a chance to win week to week, and nothing has happened to make you change however the heck you feel about the defense, right, for this team. Right. They're not doing anything to make you feel like, all right, they figured this out. This is where it'll get better this week. There's always the off chance that this is the week where they force 2 or 3 turnovers, and I think Love will give them a chance at a couple this week. That doesn't mean they'll take advantage of those opportunities, but I don't think it's crazy to feel like our quarterback is on a heater. The running game is working. The offensive line is playing as well as they've played in 3 years.
Maybe we get Foye back.
Right. Like all these there are reasons to feel like, they can go toe-to-toe with Green Bay Packers. Why wouldn't they be able to do that this week? The offense can do that.
Toe-to-toe's not good enough, right? I'm not saying, like, be competitive and yay us,
They
right?
need to win.
They got to win the football game, right? I mean, we're in kind of must-win mode until they stack a few together, and you feel like, all right, well, you're not going to go on a 10-game winning streak very often in the National Football League. I don't expect
looking
that.
At it differently,
Like, if you really want buy-in from the fan base and continued buy-in from your own locker room, go out there and show it. Don't have the mental mistakes this week. Play to your peak performance for once on this team. They didn't do it against New England.
No.
I mean, you're down 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. You did not have a peak performance against them. There is a lot of room for growth. And you're not going to play 100% of your capability every week, but play a lot play closer to 95 than you've been playing. And I don't know, I just feel I feel not beaten down this week. And it might just simply be the fact that they won a football game. Speaking of beaten down, you know who's feeling pretty beaten down? The white flag has gone up. It's the new symbol of the Tennessee Titans. The white flag is up the pole.
No
and
doubt.
We're going to start trading off all kinds. Hey, look, I get it. We traded Roy Robertson-Harris. DeAndre Hopkins was their leading receiver last year. They went out and foolishly gave, as it turns out so far, Calvin Ridley $23 million a year. Look, I get it. We were there, and maybe we got lucky. And maybe that's all it is. But luck is the residue of design. Trent Baalke set a limit for where he'd go on Calvin Ridley. They thought they had him. They wanted him. And our whole season could be a lot worse than it is right now. So imagine, and in a world where we signed Ridley and we're on the clock, and maybe we get the opportunity to trade down anyway because, it was Dallas Turner who was the trade-up target, which, by the way, I hope everybody who I've got mental notes of everybody who said they were idiots if they don't take Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner's barely cracked an egg with the Minnesota Viking so far this year. I think he has 1 sack on the season, which, okay, he's a rookie, what have you. But imagine the Jags took Troy Fautanu, who I still think is going to be a really good player, but he's hurt right now. And the Jags had Ridley, and his escapades of running wrong routes and dropping footballs continue to look. I mean, just look in Tennessee, the quarterback play is shaky as hell, right? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Tennessee Titans have agreed to trade DeAndre Hopkins, last year's leading receiver, to the Kansas City Chiefs. So Ridley now, it doesn't even have that help in the wide receiver room, and he has just been absolutely god-awful
miserable
with Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they're stuck with that contract. Well, in today's NFL, you get out of contracts
figure it out
quicker, but there'll be some dead cap money lingering, and it wouldn't surprise me if they want to punt on that situation as soon as next year. But, when you are trading a guy who's been your leading receiver as most recently as last year, and he's struggling, but so is that entire passing offense, and you cast him off, we don't know what the compensation, I'm going to guess it's going to be like a 4th or a 5th round pick that can escalate to a 3rd or a 4th round pick.
Yeah, I mean, if Calvin Ridley was playing like a number 1 wide receiver right now for the Titans, I don't know how much better the team would be.
It would indicate that they're moving the ball better, right? They'd probably have some more points in some games. They might have an extra win or two.
Right, but that would mean the quarterback would have to get the ball to him, which he's just not doing.
Correct.
Right? Like, the quarterback play in Tennessee is so bad right now with Will Levis, and it wasn't pretty with Mason this week either. Mason Rudolph playing this week for Will Levis. We'll see if Levis is able to get back on the field this week. But it is, people, I've heard people talking about DeAndre Hopkins like he's washed or something. It's like he had 1,000 yards last year with a lot of that chaos at the quarterback position in Tennessee. It's not like Levis didn't play last year for the Tennessee Titans and DeAndre Hopkins was still that productive in that offense. He had whatever level of injuries he had during the offseason and training camp and slow start to the year and all the chaos that's going on by the time he even gets on the field for him this year. And now DeAndre Hopkins gets to play with the best quarterback he's ever played with, for sure, by a pretty wide margin. And he had Deshaun when Deshaun, before he hit all the chaos buttons in his career and his life, he was playing with a pretty good version of Deshaun Watson.
We used to call DeAndre Hopkins the ultimate quarterback-proof wide receiver.
Absolutely.
On the fantasy channel, because it didn't seem to matter. Like Tom Savage would be. It didn't matter who he was playing with. He would put up numbers because he was that good, and you could force him the ball. It was like Justin Jefferson last year down the stretch. He may
be past that point of his career where he can do that.
But he's not playing with that.
He's playing with
Mahomes now, and we saw Juju have the big game 2 weeks ago in that role, so he'll all of a sudden look like a different player. Of course, last year he had the threat of Derrick Henry in the backfield as well. And, younger legs than Tony Pollard, not nearly as not keeping defensive coordinators up at night.
Not threatening. No.
Like the freaking nightmare that is Derrick Henry right now.
Give me
Pockets, jump in on this one as well. I need, without peeking, okay, last 4 games, so a month of production from Calvin Ridley. How many receptions and receiving yards does Calvin Ridley have in the last 4 games? Tony Smith, what do you say?
Receptions and receiving yards.
Yes, combined. Four-game total. So it's got to be pretty significant, right? I mean,
it's not.
No.
My narrator. It isn't.
I know his numbers are super low this year. I'll go 6 for 70.
6 for 70 in a 4-game stretch.
Yeah.
Dylan, what do you got?
I know one of those games he had 0 for 0. I'll go 5 for 34.
You guys, Dylan hit it with 5. 56 is the number.
Wow.
That he has. The 0 for 0 came on the heels of 1 for 9 and 1 for 5. That's what Calvin Ridley's been doing for $23 million in Nashville.
So he had a big week against Buffalo.
Huge week, 3 catches for 42 yards, right? And so on the season, he's got 183.
How many targets did he have last week?
It doesn't have it right on this.
There was one where he had like 8 targets.
Right here.
And I don't think he had a catch.
Yeah, that 0 for 0. I can remember that week against the Colts, it was 8.
Yeah, the page I was on didn't have targets there. Let's see.
I just know this because Hacker always comes in because he's on his team. He's always like, Calvin Ridley has 9.
He had 9 targets this week where he caught the 3 for 42. He had 8 the week before where he caught 0.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, quarterback play is obviously a part of it.
9-8-3-3.
It ain't the only part of it there, Calvin. All right, so today, we got a question today, Tony. You might be surprised to learn. We try to do that on a daily basis here on Jaguars Today. I think this is a fun one. All right, and by the way, you can always suggest other options, all right, that are not in the poll, but we find we get more interaction with the poll, so we like to put it in poll form. And we're asking today the Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day. If you, the listening audience, could make only one of these starting lineup changes for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which one, if any, would you make? If you're not going to make any, don't vote. Because we don't have that option in the poll. We wanted to put 4 options in there, and I'm glad we did because the last option we put in is one of the 2 most popular ones, okay? We have, and this is listed alphabetically by position. We've, at least the abbreviation of that position. Linebacker would be after left tackle. But we've got at cornerback, you play Monteric Brown over Ronald Darby. Like on a full-time base, that would be his spot. Darby would come in nickel packages or dime packages, or he'd be the one spelling the guys off the bench as opposed to Monteric mixing in with the other guys. At linebacker, would you start Ventrell Miller over Devin Lloyd? This is presuming that Foye Oluokun is back at whatever point, whether it's this week or next. At left tackle, we all were impressed with how Walker Little played off the bench, but Cam's been playing better lately. Is that the move you would make? Walker Little in the starting lineup over Cam Robinson, or Tank Bigsby, who has been one of the breakout stars of this Jaguar team, as much as a 2-5 team can have stars, right? I take that with a grain of salt, but Bigsby over ETN as your primary back. And I understand they're both going to play either way, but who is the guy? There is something to being the guy, I think, right? And having that mantle. I heard Fred Taylor talking about it this morning on the drill. Tony, excellent conversation with Jeff and Dan, and I'm sure you could check that out on the Jaguars the 1010XL various Jaguar conversation channels. Where would that be posted? Pockets on
It'll be on the YouTube. It'll be on
page,
the SoundCloud.
Yes. Probably get tweeted out as well at some point today by the at 1010XL account. It'll be fantastic. We'll all retweet that and we'll hold hands and celebrate the many impressions he gets. But the key being, Fred was talking about, when he left, he offered the Jags, let me take a pay cut. I'll come back. I want to play my career with one franchise. And they wanted to move in another direction, make MJD the primary guy. He's like, look, I'll be the backup, right? And there is something, and he said, I don't know how I would have handled it. I think I would have been able to handle it, but it was different going into New England where he's joining a whole new group of players. He has no history built up with them. But here, he was the man. He was Freddie T. He's Freddie, are you freaking kidding me? Have you seen me play T? And to come in, take less money willingly to be here would have been a hell of and it was a hell of a gesture. I mean, he made the gesture. And the Jags have said, no, we're going to go in another direction. And MJD was fantastic, no question about it. But I do think there's some certain cachet and status that comes with being that first guy to crack the huddle on the opening play of the game. So you can vote on that one if you like, or if you've got a better suggestion, in your opinion, perhaps you'd like to play Devin Lloyd over one of our starting defensive ends. I kid. Or maybe not. I don't know, if that's what you want to do.
Some people would, yeah.
Some people might. You can give us a call at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines, or same number for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and tell us if there is a lineup change. I guarantee we're going to get Mac Jones from somebody just because that's where some people's heads go. But let us know, or if you just want to talk Jaguar football in general, those are a couple of easy ways to do it. On social media, on the X platform, at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Go Tigers.
Go Tags. And, of course, you can also hit us up in the YouTube virtual studio. Get in the chat there. Post your questions, post your thoughts, and we'll be moving along today. Johnny O will join us in hour number 2. John Oesher, senior writer from Jaguars.com. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ease into game day a full 5 hours before kickoff with a Terminix Kickoff Show.
It's incredible, but beautiful, huh?
Live from Tailgaters Park.
Hey, beautiful, beautiful.
Brought to you by Gatorade and Clearwater Irrigation on 1010XL.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
The Teal and Black needed to get points on the board early while across the pond, and the Young Guns made sure that they delivered in a big spot. Thanks to an 8-play sequence capped off by a Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown, Jacksonville would make the score 10-7 with 9:21 left in the first half. The 68-yard drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey, John, I think everyone in Jacksonville is ready to elevate their ride.
Absolutely. At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, we have stunning 2024 Escalades and Lyrics in stock right now.
And the great news is you can get a $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Don't wait for the 2025 models to come in.
Luxury is just a visit away. Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Not available with some other offers. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/24 plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all. Unapproved credit.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hey gang, Prosser here, telling you once again about Chad and Sandy Newman. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. They can handle that. You see, Chad and Sandy can take every problem you think you have and replace it with a promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. The success stories are rolling in. Mike and Lisa in McCormick. We inherited a family home that came with equity but also a mortgage. We needed to sell fast to avoid extra expenses on a second mortgage. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Everything they say on the radio is true. The home sold in 3 days for full asking price. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Anderson, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st and restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
If your IT, data security, and your office copiers are operating perfectly, you must have hired ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, as your technology partner.
Advanced Business Solutions.
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Bolt City AC, heating that rules.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bolt City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bolt City AC, we got the crew. Bolt City AC.
Visit BoltCityAC.com.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, it's what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 2854-LAW. 2854-LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Whether you're navigating rush hour traffic or heading to the home team game on the weekend, remember, drive cautiously. If you find yourself in a fender bender, don't ignore those aches and pains. Injury Care Centers is there for you. Skip the urgent cares that treat colds and flus. They're not equipped to handle injuries. Go straight to Injury Care Centers. Call 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Drive safe, think Injury Care Centers, and go team.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, here we go. Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark talking about, potential starting lineup changes or what you'd like to see, or at least what you'd like to see tried for the Jacksonville Jaguars on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Tony at 641-1010. Papa G here. Great show. Not really a roster move, but stop having Josh and Trayvon drop back into coverage. They need to charge after the quarterback. Most times, yes. It is. Look, I heard Dave Campo talking about this on the fifth quarter. Love listening to Coach Campo. That's how you zone blitz, right? Sometimes you're going to drop a guy that you wouldn't suspect into coverage. It's an effort to confuse the offense, and you've got two guys coming from that side, two blitzers. You drop back. You're expecting to block this guy. All of a sudden, you got to pick up. You got two guys. Who do I take? And you're trying to create confusion and movement and all these things and make the quarterback have to make a lightning-fast decision. And granted, when it doesn't work, it looks horrendous, right? It looks terrible. Why do we have this happening? Why is Josh Allen trying to cover a guy on the other side of the field? Well, Trayvon said it was his fault, right? But you could say, well, it shouldn't have been on Trayvon because he shouldn't have been dropping. And we always go back to, Tony, the last regular season game of 2022. One of the biggest plays of the year. It was a Jags-Titans game coming down to the wire. Rayshon Jenkins on a blitz. Hits quarterback, ball pops loose. Josh Hines Allen, who had done what? Dropped into coverage.
Yes, he had.
Came in and scooped it up and scored, right? And that play was one where it might not have happened had they adhered to no, we can never drop those guys back. I'm not saying you make it a habit. I'm talking about 2-3% of the time at most, right? But
you're trying to trick the offense on a play. So
maybe one snap a week. Something. Yeah. I'm not saying it should be like a regular thing, but that's the nature of a zone blitz, is that you drop a guy into a zone. other guys come that you're not suspecting to come, and you mess up the blocking patterns.
Well, and as we talked about the last couple of years when they were playing a 3-4, and Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker were outside linebackers.
Right.
For the football. They're standing up every
Their roles
now
are
and then.
different then.
Right. Like they're going to be asked to play coverage from time to time in that kind of defense. This year, not so much. Like if they do it this year, it's because they were trying to trick something up, is why this guy's playing coverage on this particular play, because they are a more traditional defensive end in this year's defense. So every now and then you're going to get bit on that kind of thing when you do it. But I do think sometimes we get so caught up, we see the plays where it goes wrong.
Right.
We don't pay any attention to the plays where they dropped in coverage. Everything went exactly the way they planned for it to go. It worked out just fine. But you don't make a mental note of, oh, was that Josh Hines-Allen in coverage on that play? Right, but it didn't matter because the play worked.
Right.
You know, like you don't make a mental note of that kind of thing. You make a note why is he chasing a guy when he shouldn't even be in coverage ever, right? Like if you have that kind of idea in your head before the play even starts, these two guys should never cover anybody ever under any circumstance. Well, every now and then the defense is going to be called where they're asked to do that because they're trying to trick it up a little bit.
And like you said, the ones where it's successful, you don't even notice it. And again, I'm not saying let's drop these guys into coverage all the time. I'm just saying on the rare occasion where it gets blown up, realize it's probably happening and working on other occasions that you're not taking note of. And
they're
again,
not 0 for the century doing it. They're 0 for that play, though.
I will agree that Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon should always be on the field. Or one of them, should always be on the field. Right? If they're each playing like 70% of the snaps, their 30% should not overlap in the Venn diagram whatsoever. All right? Let's get DY on the north side. Going to start things off at 641-1010 on the Garber Automall phone lines. DY, what's up? You with us? All right. We'll see.
He's walking on the moon.
I think he's in the tunnel right there. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but we'll try to get you back here. That didn't seem to be clicking for us right there. Let's see. Oh, this one, because this got brought up both on my Twitter timeline here on the text line. Mm-hmm. Right? There's apparently some, I don't know, one of these sites that I don't even know who writes for these sites. You know, they're fan-oriented sites that started a thing for the Chicago Bears that they think they can get Trayvon Walker for as low as a 4th-round pick from the Jags. Like, people don't – there's no anything to this, okay? Let me just read to you one little sentence out of this thing.
The Bears have gotten really lucky picking on some teams, specifically Carolina here for the last several years, but no. You know, Jacksonville's not trading Trayvon Walker for a 4th-round pick.
It says, citing CHGO's Mark Carman, Eric Lambert of Sports Mockery, literally that's his Sports Mockery.
He's just putting it out there.
Recently revealed that Trayvon Walker could be available on the trade market for a price as low as a 4th-round pick. Well, so could I. You know, you might be, I could be, or I could not be. I mean, that's about as vague as it can. He could be. I didn't say he was. I said he could be, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be we could get Patrick Mahomes for a 3rd-round pick, right? If we wanted to. He could play backup quarterback. Him and Mac Jones would be a hell of a battle for that number 2 spot.
8 interceptions. He's leading the league.
It's ridiculous.
At some point, Kansas City needs to cut ties.
We could get him for maybe a 3rd.
Maybe
a 3rd and like a swap of picks in the 6th round or something like that. I mean, that's just absurd. You think there is no chance that the Jaguars are trading Trayvon Walker for anything, honestly. I mean, look, if somebody comes along, anything within the realm of realism, right? That you're not going to get that, hey, we'll give you, these 3 guys who are all pros. Okay, sure, we'll trade them for that.
Yeah.
Right? And those deals don't happen.
Especially considering the GM that would be pulling that trade off is the one who
is
took
the
him
one who drafted
like
it, exactly.
zero, like beyond 0 chance. There's a negative chance of that happening.
Correct.
Like it's no.
There's your reason to keep Balky. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got DY straightened out. DY, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, let's do this. And this will change things around. I like y'all defense philosophy that was going on there. But what we got to do is keep Cam Robinson on the bench, bring him in an emergency situation. We know he's going to walk anyway. He's walking this year. We're going to let him go anyway. Money making. But we got to move on the offensive line to protect number 16.
All right, so that's your move. You're putting Walker Little in the starting lineup then, right?
Dude, you couldn't have said it better than me. Let's go with it. Let's go Jags.
All right, DY. Let's go Jags. Look, I'm not opposed to them tinkering with any of these kind of moves here. I'm not, by the way, I'm not necessarily straight out advocating for all of them either. I don't think all of them are necessarily necessary. Sure. Is that
necessarily necessary?
A little over the top? DY, thanks for getting us rolling there. Let's get Scott in Ponte Vedra Beach up next on Jaguars Today. Scott, what's on your mind this morning?
Hey, calling about the end of the Patriot game. That final series. So it was like a minute 45, minute 50 left. We were on the 5, 6, 7, and New England calls a timeout.
Yes.
And we advanced the ball. New England calls another timeout. It was almost like they wanted us to score.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted us to score, but I mean, you know.
I mean, was there some strategy there for draft picks, for them staying beneath us for picks? I mean, almost like they willed us into the end zone.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was. I don't think Gerard Mayo. They have their quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Gerard Mayo. I think he's trying to build a winning culture. I don't think he's sitting there going, "All right, let's make sure the Jags win this game." I think what that was let's fight until the final whistle.
Yeah.
What was the strategy behind Chris Godwin being on the field with less than a minute to go, down 10 on Monday Night Football? Let's get him. That's the Bucs' decision. Was their strategy like, we might not be able to make a championship this year, so let's get our receivers hurt? And I mean, I'm being facetious here.
You play your guys till the end of the game.
They were calling timeouts.
Yeah.
They were trying to do everything they could, no matter how much of an uphill, unrealistic battle you thought it would be for them to actually overcome that. I actually saw somebody, it was like through a retweet, right, where somebody had said something about the Jags scoring that late and how classless it was.
Oh,
and then Doom brings out, like, a box score when the Patriots are up like 40-something on the Jags and they score with less than 2 minutes to go to get to 50. Like, it's the NFL, man. I'm not feeling sorry for anybody. So, no, I don't think there was anything other than he's trying to instill in his team the idea that we fight until the bitter end. And if you're going to call timeouts, we're going to keep handing it off. We're not going to take a knee. We're not going to make it easy for you.
Yeah.
All right, now let's see what you can do. But okay, let's say they don't get that. It's 25-16. They're down 9, right? Do they need to give up another touchdown to ensure their draft position ahead of the Jags? I certainly don't think so at that point in time. All right, now we got to take a timeout. If you're on the line, stay there. We will get to you coming up right out of the break at 641-1010 on the Garber Automall phone lines as we continue along here on Jaguars Today on this Wednesday. John Oesher in the second hour. This is 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Drive by my house. Well, look, if the curtains are up, you can see right in because it's beautiful. Pella windows all over my house. Every window in the house replaced, including my sliding glass door. It was time. I wanted to upgrade the house a little bit. It feels better, more energy efficient, looks fantastic. If I ever decided to sell, the resale value goes through the roof with that as well. Pella Windows and Doors, Consumer Reports' #1 rated window company in all the major window categories. They're right there on US 1. At Phillips Highway. Stop by, see their showroom, or check them out online at PellaJacks.com.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
On Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro-Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. If your car needs an oil change, now's the perfect time to visit Big Chief Tire. They're offering $10 off your next oil change at any of their 5 locations across Jacksonville. Their expert technicians will get you in and out quickly so your car stays in top shape. Visit BigChiefService.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling. That's BigChiefService.com or 904-932-0950.
Keeping up with Seminole Nation.
Join the Noles and their road to repeat as ACC champs.
Stay close to the Seminoles with the Florida State Seminole Report. Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
If you know about artificial turf, you know it needs to be done right. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned company that will transform your outdoor space into the oasis of your dreams. A putting green, a pet run, a maintenance-free yard. Trust me, the team at Sunshine Turf are the experts you need to transform your lawn. With the highest quality products and budget-friendly pricing, get clean, low-maintenance synthetic grass by visiting sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
High-flying Jack O'Brien here, sports fans. And now, I'm going to share the absolute right way to pronounce Kuhn flowers. It's Kuhn. Kuhn flowers. Remember, use Kuhn flowers.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a gravy taster from Jacksonville, Florida, me, Dennis Mosley.
Hi, Ken.
Okay, Dennis. 100 plumbers surveyed, top answer on the board. What does it mean if someone says your home has hard water?
It's made of ice? Let's see. Hard water. Oh, is it club soda mixed 4-to-1 with vodka?
Last chance, Dennis. What is hard water?
Oh, is it that lime scale stuff that makes my taps all crusty?
That's right, Dennis. And a water treatment system from Bueller Air and Plumbing will eliminate troublesome lime scale deposits that can ruin your expensive appliances and let your neighbors know for sure that you are cool.
I wonder if I can get me a gin and tonic faucet.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I-9 Sports is getting geared up for more fun for kids all over the First Coast with winter and spring registration now open. Kids ages 3 to 17 can get in the gym or on the field with I-9 Sports, covering Clay, Duval, and St. John's, and I-9 introducing all-girls volleyball and flag at Duval Charter and all-girls flag at Nocatee, plus flag, soccer, t-ball, and basketball for boys and girls too. So don't miss out. Registration open now for winter and spring at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Hey, David, tell us a little bit about Royal Pest Services. Well, Chris, I was raised in a middle-class family, and bugs have legs. And these bugs... Whoa. David, just tell us about Royal Pest Services. Just go to royalpestservices.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars safety Darnell Savage spent the first 5 seasons of his NFL career with the Green Bay Packers. Savage was asked if there's any extra motivation in going up against his former team on Sunday.
Nah, because, this is already an emotional game as it is, so it's championship week for us because it's the next week.
Savage was asked if he's looking forward to seeing any of his former Green Bay teammates.
Nah. I mean, I'm here to play a football game. It's not a reunion, We're here to go 1-0 this week. So that's how we treating it. That's how I'm treating it.
Jaguars safety Darnell Savage on Tuesday. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Dylan's been quick with that YouTube trigger. They keep catching me taking a sip of a drink. There. If you want to see me drinking out of a water bottle, ladies and gentlemen, go to our YouTube stream and post many comments about it here. Before we get to John on the north side, next up on the phone lines at 641-1010. Those are the Garber Automall phone lines. This from Adam on Twitter. In regards to the Trayvon post I just read, I remember distinctly reading one of those dumb things in 2011 where someone said, the Jags would be well served to trade Luke McCown to New England for Tom Brady. Well, that one I agreed with.
They would be
Adam.
well served, yeah.
They would have been well served on that one.
Yeah.
But, yes, I mean, the one Tony and I always reference is we were doing the show over at the stadium. So this is in the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, something like that.
Whatever that year was where Thielen was going nuts.
Adam Thielen had 7 straight 100-yard games to open the season at this point. I don't know how many he ended up his streak went to, but I think it was 7 at that point. And, hey, somebody called up, we need a receiver. Why don't we just trade for Thielen? Oh, well, there you go. It's like when Fred Taylor had that 9-game streak of 100-yard games for the Jags. Hey, we need a running back. Let's go get Freddie T.
Yeah. He's available.
Gotta make sense for both sides. But, we would have liked Adam Thielen at that point in time. He was playing quite well. All right, let's go to John on the north side. The rest of you can get in at the same number, 641-1010. John, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, bud.
Good morning, fellas, and I just want to start off with a
Duval. There we go, John. What's up, man?
All right, so in response to the question of the day, I'm definitely keeping Ventrell Miller in there, but I'm not getting rid of Devin Lloyd. Ventrell could start with Poirier, cool with that. But with Devin Lloyd, I would actually have him in somewhat, I guess you could say, of a lightning package. And truth be told, ever since we drafted him, I always kind of saw him in the possibility of being like a Von Miller type of player. Do y'all think that's a possibility? Because he did rush the pass in college, and I'll take my comments off there.
All right.
Go Jags.
Thank you, John. This is funny because this came up yesterday in consecutive calls, right?
It
did. And somebody called, and Jeff Loggeman, really, Tuesdays are about Jeff, right? I mean, Tony and I are here every day, and we certainly give our opinions, and sometimes we give a counterpoint or whatever, but it really, Check the Tape Tuesday is about plumbing the depths of Jeff's knowledge about the Jaguars, right? And that's what we do every Tuesday. So we got this question for Jeff yesterday. Jeff said, in his opinion, he thought, and look, I don't know, Jeff played defensive end in the NFL. His opinion has some validity to it, right? But that doesn't mean that another guy who had the same experience as Jeff Loggeman would necessarily agree, right? Because NFL players, former players disagree as well. So only one side is right. That doesn't mean he's going to be right about everything. But his opinion was it's too late in the season to make that switch. I don't agree with that. I'm not saying he's going to be Von Miller. And for that point, let's back off. We're talking about
Von's a
walk-in
Hall of
Fame guy, right? At least based on his production on the field. But I mean, they blitz him sometimes, right?
They do.
So could you blitz him a little bit more? Could you just line him up on the edge a few times? I don't know if it's as complicated as you make it out to be.
I don't think doing that kind of thing with Devin Lloyd is any less likely than it is, say, the way they're using Yasir Abdullah right now. I think he can do anything you're asking Yasir Abdullah to do as a defensive end. I think Devin Lloyd could do that kind of thing for you if you're to the point with Devin Lloyd where you feel like that's the best way he can help you. like already at this point. And I'm not saying it would be something I would take off the table completely. I saw Doug Peterson was already asked this morning. He's speaking right now, and we'll get to a little bit of that as we go through the show today. But he was asked specifically if Aluakin and Miller could be the primary linebackers on the field moving forward, which is something we've obviously been discussing, considering how well Ventrell Miller has been playing, right, since they put him on the field. And Doug said, short answer is yes. You want your best 11 on the field. So it's not like they don't see what the situation is, but he did say, but I do still think there's enough of a rotational piece with those guys. So whatever the end of that comment actually means.
What does that mean?
Right. Like, so.
I don't even know. Is that.
Like, I think.
It's English words.
I think it makes sense for them to keep the door open on. I don't think Devin Lloyd's helping us very much as a linebacker. Necessarily straighten that role, and we have someone else who's outplaying him at the spot we would be playing Devin Lloyd. If we need to figure something else out with him, I don't think we're going to let him rush the passer a little bit more than we typically would is a bad solution for what to do with Devin Lloyd in the short term in 2024.
Look, Devin Lloyd's had, Voy has been out for a month, so this has been kind of a moot point, right? I mean, you're playing what you feel are your two best options, and maybe Ventrell Miller is emerging as one of your two best options, even when Lloyd is available, and that's great. And then even if you're rotating those linebackers, which Foye should really not come off the field, he's quite capable of playing every snap. He's done it before, or basically every snap, 99% of them. That let's say Foye is getting 90%. Ventrell's playing 75%, right? So, okay, there's a 10% and a 25%. Muma's going to play 5% of those. So 30% of the time, Devin Lloyd will be on the field playing linebacker, if my math checks out, okay? Well, what about the other 70% of the time? Can 20% of those snaps, can he come in in a third down package? And the lightning package that, John's referring to is like you want a bunch of fast, quick, maybe sometimes undersized guys for their position. That the size isn't as important because you're not trying to hold up against the run. It's 3rd and 12. We want to make sure we get this quarterback under pressure. We get off the field. We slide Trayvon inside. We got Josh on one end. Maybe we walk up Devin Lloyd in some packages. I don't know what the number is. I don't know. But here's the other thing, Tone. I do think this coaching staff's trying to win games, right? They are trying to win, right? I mean, we often get that. I don't think they even care. I don't think they want to win. All right, I don't believe that, right?
Come on.
I know, but that's how fans get sometimes when the losing gets bad and they try to cope. If they felt like this was going to be an effective means of getting pressure on the quarterback, why wouldn't they utilize it, right? I mean, they do see him. We had these, I think I'd try this, and we all do it. I do it, you do it, listeners do it, we all do it. But they are out there every single day. Mini camps, OTAs, training camp, practices, and they see the skills, they see the fit, they see the ability to get off blocks, they see the non-ability to get off blocks, they see the ability to bend around the edge, whatever it is. And for whatever reason, even in a year where, Tony, there is really no third defensive end on some of these active game day rosters.
Yeah.
Miles Cole, inactive. Okay, who is the real defensive end? Joe Gaziano this week.
Yep.
Right. And Gaziano actually came in remember in the preseason, and as soon as they signed him, he had didn't he have the sack that closed out one of the preseason games, something like that. So good for him for trying to, make some inroads here, but it's not like any kind of distinguished list. I would bet there were a lot of people watching Jaguar football that weren't paying that close attention in the fourth quarter of preseason games that had no idea who Joe Gaziano was.
Sure.
Right? I mean, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So could Devin Lloyd take a few snaps? I guess. I don't think it's going to revolutionize this team. That's the thing. But could it help? I'm not opposed to trying it. But, again, I got to believe they see it. I don't think they're trying to hold back a package that would be more effective than what they're currently doing.
No, yeah. And I think it makes sense as a next thing you might want to try is Devin Lloyd plays some defensive end.
Because Foye is on the brink of coming back.
Yeah.
Now we'll find out, right?
You don't need him as a linebacker as much as you did these last couple of weeks. So we'll see if that's something that they're thinking about. I did see Doug Peterson also said, sometimes essentially the quote was something along the lines of sometimes you just want guys that are doing the right things. Right, which I think does speak to how we've all felt about Devin Lloyd, especially when he's asked to play in coverage. anywhere, right? Like, he just gets lost. He does. He just gets lost in coverage. So how much can you even – and we know –
we don't want to see him backing up.
Right.
We want to see him moving forward.
And we know, like, unless you're putting him in a position like defensive end where you're saying, go get the quarterback. That's your job. Go hit the ball. That's your job, is to go wherever the ball goes, you go on this particular play. If you put him at linebacker, teams that may have called run will go, we need to get to a pass and throw it at that guy. Right? Like, this is the NFL. They do those kinds of things. You can confuse Devin Lloyd's in those kind of moments. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're seeing teams do a little bit of that already. Right? You got to target him. You have to. You would not be doing your job as the opponent if you're not targeting Devin Lloyd in the pass game.
Right.
It just wouldn't make any sense for that to not be part of your game plan week to week. It's why we've been talking about the tight ends for the last several weeks. You know, it's not like we're confused when Hunter Henry has the kind of day he had. It's like, well, yeah, this is what teams are going to do. Tight ends are going to take advantage of this linebacker in coverage for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The only thing that changes that is he doesn't get to cover anybody anymore. As long as he's out there covering somebody, they're going to throw it at the guy he's covering.
It's an effective strategy.
Right.
It's proven to be. You know, so look out for Tucker Kraft this week. That's going to be D-Rock's first pick. I have a feeling tomorrow to get out of the cellar. This one, the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Understand, this is a mirthful kind of text. I think the Patriots' strategy calling the timeout late was to get the Jags to put Devin Lloyd in as a pass rusher. Duval, there you go. This one, bigger question as we discuss pass rush options is what to do with Josh Hines Allen. Allen playing in slow motion has become an issue. If you think that's and I'm not saying that Josh Hines Allen is following up a 17.5 sack season with another Pro Bowl caliber outing so far, but he has gotten the most consistent pressure of any pass rusher on this team. There's zero chance that they're sitting there going. It may be like, how do we get him going? Can we move him around? Can we do some things? But it's not like, what do we do with him? We got to send him to the bench. Are you kidding me? I mean, people, Joe Gaziano going to take his spot, Tone? I don't think so.
That is someone who is only seeing the play where he's having to run across the entire field.
And it wasn't his responsibility.
In the open field against a third down back. Like he's one of the better athletes on the other side of the ball. And he's having to run across the entire field, and he is able to juke past Josh Hines. I'm shocked that running back in the open field was able to do that to a defensive end. Who would have ever thought that could happen to anybody in the world? That means he stinks now?
Yeah, I don't.
Get over it.
The conversation may be, what can we do to get some more consistent pressure?
We need better. I'm not saying they don't need him to be better, but it's not
who's
he's
taking his
slow
spot
now.
or anything
Come
like that.
on.
Doom sent me one. Greg Rosenthal. It used to be on that NFL, the little morning to their podcast that they canceled, what have you. I don't know what he's honestly doing at the moment. But anyway, he said he put out a video of trades he'd like to see. Lions send a conditional third to the Jaguars for Trayvon Walker. I don't care if you'd like to see. You know what I'd like to see? I mean, I'd like to see a lot of damn things, right? I'd like to see. All right, I tell you what. We'll give you Trayvon, okay? We don't even want pass rush back. I'll take Amon-Ra St. Brown and Brian Branch. That seems fair.
I'll just take Penei Sewell.
Take Penei Sewell's good too,
yeah.
Right? I mean, but I'm trying to be fair here, too. I don't want to take their best lineman away. I'll just take their best safety and best wide receiver away.
I'll even send Walker Little back in the deal if
this
they want
trade. I mean, Greg. Next time I see him, I'm going to rest a drink on his head. I'm going to say, Greg, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Greg's a wee lad, man. So anyway, I'd tell Greg that in person. I've known Greg for a long time.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a timeout. Johnny O coming up on the other side. If you want to be a part of the conversation, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. And today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day in poll form. If you could make one of these and only one starting lineup change for the Jaguars, which one would you make? Is it at cornerback Brown over Darby? Is it at linebacker Miller over Lloyd? Left tackle Little over Robinson? Or running back Bigsby over ETN? Cast your ballot there or give us a call and tell us which lineup switch that you'd like to see that we left out of the mix. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, Johnny O coming in next. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Every special teams player waits for his number to be called.
We got this.
After the game, we call the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
Game ball, baby.
On 1010XL.
Good job, team.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Facing a DUI charge or even a boating under the influence charge? Well, I'm your man, DUI lawyer Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW. Once again, 285-4LAW.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheap or discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
The Jaguars are back at Everbank Stadium to go head-to-head with the Green Bay Packers for our crucial catch game. Join us October 27th as we fight cancer through early detection, risk reduction, and awareness all game long. Lock in your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you there.
Are you an experienced plumber or welder with MedGas certification and you're tired of being undervalued? It's time to make the move to Local 234 Plumbers, Pipe Fitters, and HVAC Technicians. With the best pay in the business, you'll earn $36.50 an hour. With benefits, that's almost $50. It's not just a job, it's a career that values you. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
57% of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida alumni say the club saved their lives. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida support over 5,000 local youths each day. Help support this work and have some fun at the same time. Join us at the Beaches Barbecue Bash, Monday, October 28th at ABBQ Atlantic Beach for barbecue, great beverages, live music, and an auction to positively impact our youth each day. Learn more at bgcnf.org/events.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey, it's Prosper here, and if you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis, express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today. You won't make a house payment till 2025. 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com or 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Find your why with membership at the First Coast YMCA. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Come try free access to your local Y every Wellness Wednesday this month. Check out our fitness classes, swimming, pickleball, youth sports, and so much more for free. every Wednesday in October. Plus, we'll waive the join fee when you become a member this month. Get active, be social, live healthier, and discover all the benefits of YMCA membership at your local Y or visit fcymca.org.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Make your dream of living in luxury a reality in Lennar's newest 55 and up active adult community, Edenbrook at Highland Trail. Located in the heart of Green Cove Springs, Edenbrook offers world-class amenities with a dedicated activities director and homes starting in the high 300s, with rates as low as 3.99% and up to $50,000 in flex cash on our new Edenbrook homes. The time to buy is now. Call 904-643-3750 to find out more. Your life of luxury awaits in Edenbrook at Highland Trail by Lennar.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. Florida men's basketball ranked 21st in the preseason AP Top 25. Head coach Todd Golden wants his team to keep it all in perspective.
Thankful, that people are recognizing us that way. For what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go, it really doesn't mean much.
FSU defensive lineman Marvin Jones Jr. says the rivalry with Miami runs deep in his family.
Exciting experience, watch this game a million times growing up. A lot more fun for me specifically now. My brother's on the other side. So all I know is how much he hates the Hurricane.
The NBA season got underway on Tuesday. The Florida teams will face each other tonight when the Miami Heat face the Orlando Magic. The opening night will feature the unveiling of the Pat Riley Court at the Kaseya Center, named in honor of the team's president and man behind the NBA's Heat's 3 championships. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 11 o'clock, it's 75 degrees. Time at 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oesher. Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
On 1010XL.
Greg Rosenthal said he'd like to see John Oesher get shipped back to Indianapolis for a conditional third rounder. I say, hell no. Not going to happen.
No,
we're keeping him around, Tony. He's staying here.
I would retire.
Senior writer. Would you? That'd be it? That's the line in the sand, not going back to Indy?
Well.
That hellscape?
I say that now.
Can I quote you on that? Hellscape? Can I put words in your mouth and then quote you on it?
From my experience, not far off.
What, me? I don't misquote you, do I? Or is it others?
No.
Indy.
Hellscape.
Oh, Hellscape. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was like, me putting words in your mouth and then quoting you? In my experience, it's not far
It's
off.
hard to discern it.
All right. Welcome in. It can't be that bad, right? We're back with at least one W in hand, one more than we left with.
And you're wearing the old school Jaguars
I got the
Today
old school,
shirt
baby.
that I actually
I'm old
had.
school, and you cannot come by and get one of these.
I think that was the first one I ever had.
You still have yours?
I don't know if I do, but I do remember having
hanging out. I probably got.
It's probably 10 years old. It's right when I
them.
started, which would have been 14-ish.
We did a few runs of this one, though, over the years. We should have put the date on it, Tony, for the original printing.
Maybe you can carbon date it.
We always do them like it. Maybe you can. I don't know. I've got this great.
Whatever it was, that's the shirt I still have. Like I still
this
have
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whatever the original run of it was, that's the one you'll see me wearing every now and then.
Right, because we got ours in the first run.
Yeah.
So there you go. But Mark Watson at Hardball made these great shirts, and we were at another station. Can't remember the numbers of it. Anyway, and it was when the Super Bowl came here to Jacksonville, and he took the Main Street Bridge and the cross beams. He made them into the Roman numerals for 39 because it was Super Bowl 39. Right. Because you weren't supposed to use a lot, and he kind of it was like a hidden picture within a picture kind of thing, and it was a Jacksonville landscape. It is so cool.
Yeah.
And I can't wear it. This is an old station, you know what I mean? I'm not promoting some other station, but I still have them. I still got a couple of them, and I'm like, damn, that's a pretty damn sweet shirt right there. That's one of my favorites that I've ever seen come down the line. Now, John, the Victory Monday. You haven't gotten a Victory Monday, have you?
Victory Monday shirt?
Yeah.
No.
Have you seen them?
I've not.
Oh, they're spectacular, man.
Yeah.
They're the teal and the gold and the black. It's really sharp, but we only bring them out on rare occasions around these parts.
Twice.
Yeah, twice in 7 weeks, right.
Soon to be, what? Soon to be 10 more.
We were hoping, I hope you're right about that. That'd be fantastic. Odds that the Jags run the table, John?
Low. They're not going to run the table.
Okay, 9-1. All right, fine. We've settled on 9-1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. In all seriousness, just give us your overview of what these 2 weeks meant. We heard a lot from players and coaches that you can't escape each other, right? You find out you're either going to bring this team closer together, or you're going to find out just how much you hate each other, basically. And it only resulted in 1 win out of 2, though. I don't know if is there a long-lasting positive impact to that time spent together?
There can be. I mean, that was a convenient storyline last year because they went. You're not going to get that benefit from the first game because you get over there on Thursday, and there's really not that sort of benefit. So, did they come together and play better? On Sunday, yes.
They also played a much.
Were they playing a struggling?
Yeah.
I mean, there are some teams you look at and say, "Oh, that's a struggling building team," and that's what New England played like. So. Yes, I'm sure it does benefit for camaraderie. When you walk through the Grove, you do see guys sort of hanging out, they're eating, they're forced to be around each other. Will that translate against what I would think was the toughest part of their schedule? If that camaraderie stuff's real, we're going to see it.
I guess we will, right? I don't put that much stock into it.
Right.
I mean, it can't hurt you. I guess it can, right? Again, if you've got divisiveness on the team, being forced into that position could exacerbate. But I don't get the sense that that's been the case here. That it's been a bad locker room, or
if there's guys pulling the high school stuff at the Grove where they sit down and then moves.
Right, you pick up and you take your tray to another table.
I didn't see much of that.
Uh-oh.
To me,
no. When I went,
right.
exactly, I got that treatment all the time from.
But they bonded together against me and you. So
from all those Brits, especially, they wanted nothing to do with me. But all right, so Tank Bigsby became a bigger part of things by necessity. Mm-hmm. Travis Etienne working off to the side, doing some individual stuff today. I saw a tweet from Mia O'Brien.
Yeah, I would be surprised considering that report if he plays on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
When they're working to the side, they'll be listed as limited. Working to the side would make it a tough. I mean, and it's a hammy. Tank's playing well. So I'd
the
be
hammer.
Hank the hammer, right. So it would seem quick for him to come back since he injured it 2 weeks ago.
Apologies to Hayes Carline, by the way. He is the one and only hammer on this network. Is there something to the offense and the mindset when you've got, this is Etienne's style, right? Etienne's a little bit more of a dancer, pick your hole and explode. He can hit the hole rapidly as well if it's there, but Bigsby's more like, we ain't messing around. We're going to get downhill. Yeah. Now, he's been surprisingly agile, I think, in the open field, and shown pretty good long speed for a guy I don't consider to be a burner. But is there something to the mentality of a team that, they ran it 17 times in a row? A lot of that was Bigsby. Some of it was Dearness Johnson, but it's more of a downhill style when he's in there.
Yeah, I think the other day it felt like that because you're playing a team where the defensive line's the weakness. So they clearly in the first half figured out we can turn around and hand the ball off and have success. For the most part, I haven't done any analytics on this, but for the most part, it felt like in the first, 6 games, they've been running very, very well. It hasn't, to me, felt like, even with Tank, a absolute pound the line of scrimmage turnaround. It's been more, okay, when we see these fronts, we can get Tank, and he runs downhill against very favorable run fronts. I think the key will be moving forward, can they do against other teams what they did against the Patriots, which was run no matter what. Mm-hmm. That had more of a feel for that. I think the offensive line, to me, the offensive line is usually more about running success than specific running back. But Tank has, for his circumstance, run very, very well this year.
What does your gut tell you in that regard about where this football team is? Look, it's not a team we talked about it throughout the entire offseason. They didn't change a bunch on the offensive line. They brought in Mitch Morse and said, we're not going to have a liability at center anymore, and we feel like that can pay dividends. We're willing to pay Ezra, right, like Sheriff back for another year. Anton struggled early. Cam struggled early, but those two guys haven't been struggling lately. Do you feel like the offensive line is healthy enough, having played together now for almost half a season, to be able to dictate a little bit more with the run game than they were able to do early on in the season when it still felt like things were kind of separated for whatever myriad of reasons that might have been?
It feels like it's getting closer. It's still hard for me to say that this team is going to dictate with the running game consistently. Even the other day, you had 17-play drive, and then on 4th and 1, you didn't pick it up. It still feels like short yardage reliability is something they have to prove before. I mean, are you super confident yet? 3rd and 1?
I'm not confident in 3rd and 1. I'm certainly not confident in 4th and 1.
So
but I have a chance to kick a field goal to go up 18.
Well, right, but even the feel, so.
Well, they converted a couple of those short yardage situations this week, too.
I think it's getting better.
But it doesn't make me confident,
No,
though.
I get it.
Right.
You know?
I think overall they are a really good running team in normal situations, meaning the league right now has a lot more teams playing shell defense. I think they're running against those kind of fronts very well.
Mm-hmm.
They're up from I think 23rd in the league in overall rushing to 12th this year. The yards per carry up. They're doing a great job. I would like to see them more reliable when they absolutely need it before you call them a power running team.
Also from the desk of Mia O'Brien on social media, Doug Peterson said Cam Robinson remains in the concussion protocol. That's not surprising. Usually those guys don't clear until the end of the week. Part of getting out
going in Sunday and coming out Wednesday doesn't
right.
happen.
You have to practice. You actually have to practice and be asymptomatic and get through a certain amount of practice before you can come out of the concussion protocol.
Which Josh did this year. He's the one guy. I think he's the one guy who's been in this year. Josh Hines-Allen, and he was cleared the Saturday after he.
That's usually when it comes. It usually comes on Friday or Saturday.
Right.
Is what you get. A day or two at the most. Before, so, up in the air. But, and granted, the competition is what it was, but for the second time in 3 games, and, the 2 games that they've won this year, the Jags offensive line did not allow a quarterback hit in the game. Now, Indy and New England are not loaded with a bevy of great pass rushers, to be sure, but still, this is the National Football League. So what to you is it just playing together for more games, getting a month and a half under their belts? But it seems like overall the offensive line is heading in a better direction.
I think they are much better than people thought they were going to be. I think they're headed in the right direction. It seems to me they are ascending to be a very serviceable offensive line right now. They also, in the loss to Houston, gave up 1 sack, but played very, very well overall in that game. They handled the edge rushers in that game. Didn't fare so well against the Bears. I think right now they're an offensive line that, as long as they are in a good situation, meaning not trailing by 10 with the ears pinned back, if they can keep the score competitive, reasonable, where the situations aren't obvious, I think they're good. I wonder if they're good yet when,
obvious pass situation,
which a lot of teams aren't. That doesn't differentiate them from a lot of teams, but they didn't fare well against the Bears in that situation. But the Houston game was competitive the whole way, right? So I think as long as they can stay in it, I think they're pretty good.
It's funny watching Lamar Jackson on Monday Night Football, and it's not like this is the first time you noticed this thing with him, but he was under a lot of pressure, right? He just has a magical ability to stand there and jump to one side, just make that quick move, and guys are almost tentative to close out on him. But he took several big sacks in that game.
From what the commentators have said, from what I've read, that's sort of their
Achilles heel, sort of?
Yeah, their struggle now. But again, for the Jaguars, the last 4 games, even against the Bears early before it got out of hand, it has not felt like they were struggling on the offensive line at all. So if they can win a couple and get in it, that feels like a strength they can rely on. But they just got to get back in it.
Somebody on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosure, said the quarterback sneak has been successful when they actually do it. At times it has. But again, Trevor's not – he's not that thick.
It's been better, though.
It has been better, but he's still not that – Jalen Hurts is built like a tank, and he squats 1 billion pounds, and he's a unique circumstance.
It's amazing how well the push.
But you know what? Tom Brady wasn't built like that. He didn't – any bigger than Trevor is.
He was a little bigger.
I don't know, man.
In the butt, I think. So
yeah, but leading with your butt, like he hit. I don't.
And quarterback sneak. That's where Hurts is so strong.
I thought Brady was more about just quick picking the spot. It wasn't to me that Brady drove the pile.
I got you.
He just had a knack for finding the crease. Somebody asked, Bush Drive Rich asked me to ask you.
Okay. Bush Driver Rich.
Bush Drive Rich. He's a regular around these parts. Can you ask Johnny O about the status of Keelan Robinson? Do you have any word on him? Have you heard anything about him?
He was working out a little bit in a practice recently in London. Looked good, but that toe, which is what he had, can be a long-term. It was toe, right? I'm trying to.
It was foot.
Foot, yeah. So
it might have been a toe.
It's been so long, but if memory serves, it was a toe. If not, I apologize.
Toe's part of the foot. We'll allow it.
Toe-ish.
Toe adjacent.
He looked like he was getting very close, which you would think after 7 or 8 games you would be. So we'll see. I don't know anything officially. I just know he looked pretty good.
All right. So there you go. Maybe edging back towards getting back on the radar of being activated. All right. That's as non-committal as I can make that. All right. We got to take a time out here. If you want to get in with Johnny O or just express your thoughts on Jaguar football, you're welcome to do it. Again, the question of the day, are up over 300 votes so far. If you could make only one of these starting lineup changes for your Jacksonville Jaguars, which one, if any, would you make? Is it Brown over Darby at cornerback? Is it Miller over Lloyd at linebacker? Is it Little over Robinson at left tackle? Is it Bigsby over Etienne at running back? Or is it something else? Is there another one that we're overlooking that you would like to see put forth or at least experimented with for the Jacksonville Jaguars? 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 weight loss. Man, have you heard about the totals that we've been putting up around these parts? So we're well over 150 pounds lost between myself, Hacker, Matt Hayes. Hacker's in triple digits on his own. Doesn't matter how much you need to lose. Maybe you've got a pesky 10 that you just cannot get rid of. Awaken 180 can help you knock that out in a couple of weeks. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's 25 like I had to lose. Maybe it's 50. Maybe it's 100 or more. And you've even possibly had success losing weight in the past, but if you're like me, you have trouble keeping that weight loss intact. Awaken 180 promises not only will you lose weight safely, quickly, efficiently, but you're going to keep that weight loss off if you follow their guidelines. And here's the great thing. Once you hit your target weight, all those guidelines, all that coaching, all that support, it's free for life with Awaken 180. Give them a call and be their next success story at 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or schedule your free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Pick the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park. Pick the worst, you'll still win some pizza, just not enough for a party. The 1010 Weekly Pick'em Contest is brought to you by MyBookie.
You pick 'em
at 1010XL.com.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Guys, don't suffer through this season with prostate, bladder, or kidney issues. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations with advanced urological care to improve your health and vitality. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Now, It's time to showcase the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
Parker Washington was spectacular for the Teal and Black in London. The Jacksonville return man returned one kick for 27 yards and a punt for 96, which would result in a touchdown. Number 11 showed why he was number 1 in the return game, and he's your Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Every Monday, David Garrard calls the signals and looks for you on Jaguars Today from 10 to noon.
Look past left prong. Oh, ready.
Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com.
Duval.
On 1010XL.
Thermal Engineers is hiring. Thermal Engineers is a commercial HVAC contractor serving North Florida for over 20 years. Qualified technicians and installers. How does top pay, 401k, and full benefits sound, and a signing bonus? Is it time for a positive change in your career? Join the family-oriented commercial HVAC contractor at Thermal Engineers. Call 230-1172 or go to Thermal Engineers, Inc., an equal opportunity employer.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Hey, gang, Prosser here to save you some cash. Maximize your home sale now with the market experts who deliver more money in less time, and those experts are Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. You don't have to worry. The worries are relieved with Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts we are trusting and recommending with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Mortgage rates are down. It's time to create your market. Marvin in Cobblestone writes, my siblings and I moved our parents to Maryland so they can get some extra help as they get older. Next, we had to sell the home to get them some financial help for their extra care. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they delivered big. Chad and Sandy's team got our home sold in 7 days, above asking price. You can too. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local authorized technology partner and home to Xerox copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Oh No's.
With Jaguars.com's John Oesher.
Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. On 1010XL.
All right, Johnny O is here, as he is most Wednesdays when he's stateside, at least. He was here telephonically last week. Tony looked it up. You were right, toe. But I was also right, because toe's part of the foot.
Toe-ish.
So it's easier, ankle down.
Say general, lower body.
Ankle down, Tony.
Ankle down. Need some anchoring down this weekend.
That's semi-clever. Have you said anything to JP Shadrick since that?
No, I haven't.
I haven't. And JP's been in London for a few weeks.
I know it. I'll talk to him a little bit.
You've been in there for
Sunday.
like a few weeks, 3 weeks, right? Because he went in and called the game, I think, for Westwood 1, the previous one.
Yeah, I think he's been there
Jets, Vikings.
Is that what it was, Jets, Vikings?
Yes, sir.
Can't wait to see him today.
Robert saw his last game.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
Vandy's, they're ranked for the first time since 2013.
Is that right?
This week. Yeah, they're 25th in the country this week.
Where's Florida State?
They're
somewhere
Miami
below that.
For some kind of...
Right.
Bro, I just have a bad feeling about my sports teams right now. I really do.
Outside of the
Yankees are in the World... No, even the Yankees, I'm like, because getting the World Series is not it. it's winning 4 more.
I hear
right?
you.
Knicks, they did well last night. Florida State, they're on a heater, and they get to play the Canes this week. So everything's going just the way I anticipated. And, of course, your Jacksonville Jaguars.
2-1.
One-game winning streak. 2-1. That's right. I'm only looking back at the last 3, Johnny O. All right, let's go to Steve in Melbourne next up here on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Steve, good morning. Steve, what are you doing? Steve, that's a total choke panic. Steve's gonna call up, gonna sit on hold, and he's gonna have some conversation off the air. And I'm gonna give Steve a hard time because Steve's a regular around these parts. And then
I did call him. It sounded like he was in a hurricane. So
is that what it was?
I don't know what kind of wind he's got going on.
Right, I walked out of the house this morning, by the way, and it was like gorgeous, like super sunshine. Right, like oh my gosh, this is one of the nicest days of the year. By the time I got on 95. I'm like, where the hell did all this gray come from, man? I don't know. I don't have a rain gauge, but I just feel like I've had enough at this point in time. My yard's good, right, for probably the next couple months.
Hasn't been bad lately, though, right?
I still got standing water in the backyard.
Oh, okay, well,
probably leftover hurricane stuff, that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the Jags. Ventrell Miller's played very well. John, what's your feel about Foye Oluokun and his potential return? Maybe too soon to have a strong feel on that, but
the norm with the guys returning from the 21-day window has been they come back and practice for a week
and then come back the second
play
week.
the next week.
All right, so let's say he does. He comes back next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Ventrell starting alongside Foye? In your opinion, should he?
So. Yeah. I mean, I the way they're playing defensively, I would guess they will rotate. I wouldn't be surprised if they start Devin Lloyd there and rotate the veteran in. It's what they did with Darby and Monteric last week. But it's hard to argue that Ventrell's not playing better than Devin Lloyd.
He stands out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they'll do because we won't know what they'll do till that day. But it seems like Ventrell Miller is a guy who has earned his way onto the field.
Absolutely, right? And if we're doing this on merit, I mean, I'm sure they see it as well. The question we always get about Devin Lloyd, it's not a new one, right? But we've gotten it a bunch in this week, but it comes up a bunch. It's come up since he's been here practically. Should he be used more as a pass rusher? And my answer to that is they see him every day in practice.
If they thought he was good at it, they'd have him do it.
That's what I think, right? Because it's not like, I mean, who do you have other than your top 2 guys?
Right.
You know, that I'm even just talking about.
I understand the question because when he was drafted, there was a lot of talk about, he can blitz, he can do a lot of different things. Frankly, he hasn't done what he's doing that well. So
doesn't mean he couldn't do something else better, but I do think that, and I get like the last month, it hasn't been an option because you haven't had Foye around, you know, and I don't know. I always fall back on.
I think it'd be hard for him to switch over and all of a sudden start rushing off the edge.
See, that's what Log said. I don't know. I'm not saying you just make him a full-time defensive end, but could you mix him in more? Find a way. Like if you're trying to put your best 11 in any given situation, can you make a case that, particularly because you are doing this hockey-style substitution at times on the defensive line, you're playing so many different guys. I mean, Joe Gaziano is coming off the deep bench here to get some running. I get it. He is a pass rusher, right? And he had a moment in the preseason, but I don't know. I think people are just trying to figure out how to get some value. Or I'm not saying Devin Lloyd has provided no value for the Jaguars, but if he's not, even if he's playing some, if he's not the starter, I mean, this is a young guy still. You gave up 3 picks to get him in the first round. What's his long-term future here in Jacksonville?
Probably one more year.
Right, you can't see him. You can't see him getting a second contract necessarily.
It would again. It's hard when you've got Foye, who has been very, very productive, and you've got Ventrell Miller, who has done nothing but make standout tackles and clearly has football instincts, which that's sort of where Devin felt like he has struggled in terms of eye location, all the stuff we talked about with Devin. It's hard to play it's hard to play him over Ventrell very long.
All right, let's take a moment, pause, collect our thoughts as Tony takes us around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The Tennessee Titans are trading wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins to Kansas City for a 5th-round draft pick that could turn into a 4th. The Houston Texans are signing linebacker Devin White. The New Orleans Saints and running back Alvin Kamara have agreed to a 2-year, $24.5 million deal, or extension that will keep Kamara there in New Orleans through the 2026 season. Now, San Francisco wide receiver Deebo Samuel has been released from the hospital after being checked in on Sunday for pneumonia and fluid in his lungs. Tampa Bay wide receiver Mike Evans expected to be out through the Bucs' Week 11 bye with a hamstring injury. Chris Godwin had surgery for a dislocated ankle yesterday, so the Bucs will be without their top 2 receivers for the next few weeks, with Godwin being out for the remainder of the season. Beyond that, the LA Rams have opened the 21-day practice window for wide receiver Puka Nacua. The Rams are also reportedly willing to trade Cooper Kupp and have received interest from teams for him. Reports indicate that the Rams are looking for a 2nd-round pick in return for Kupp. Arizona linebacker Dennis Gardeck suffered a torn ACL on Monday night. Cleveland has signed quarterback Bailey Zappi to their active roster off of Kansas City's practice squad, and the Las Vegas Raiders have placed quarterback Aiden O'Connell on IR with a broken thumb, which will keep him out for at least the next 4 weeks.
All right, there you have it. Tony Smith with your look around the National Football League. We'll take a timeout here, our final one. We'll come back and dig into today's question of the day. Which starting lineup change would you make, if any, for the Jacksonville Jaguars? You just heard John that probably Ventrell Miller deserves to start, in his opinion. He's certainly one of the options out there. You can vote if you haven't already at MD_1010XL on Twitter. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, John Oesher, and Dylan Denmark. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Do the Garber Wiggle, 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 Garber Wiggle. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle with lifetime warranty, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Best price, best payment, best trade-in value, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. With a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there is always a little room for wiggle. Garber Wiggle, 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 Garber Wiggle.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems, gun charges, drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, rolling lot bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Franchi Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Big Sur's here. My cigars are back in stock at Island Girl Gate Parkway. Buy a box and I will autograph it for you. Island Girl Gate Parkway is the place to enjoy a great cigar selection, a full bar, enjoy a daily happy hour from noon to 7 and all day Sunday. Enjoy college and NFL games from noon to 6. When you buy 5 cigars, you get 1 free. Plus, live music Friday and Saturday nights. For upcoming events, follow Island Girl Gate Parkway on Instagram and Facebook at islandgirl.gateparkway.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and GIA-certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $2,300 per ounce and hasn't seen this level in over 13 years. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey, it's Prosper here, and if you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis, express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today. You won't make a house payment till 2025. 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com or 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Picture this. It's a dark and stormy night, and your toilet is acting possessed. But fear not, for Duck Duck Rooter is here to exorcise those plumbing demons and banish them to the nether world. So if you're facing a plumbing horror story straight out of a nightmare, summon the spectral expertise of Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769 and bid those plumbing phantoms farewell. Duck Duck Rooter, where we tackle plumbing scares so you don't have to.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Fred Taylor this morning on The Drill on how he would handle the Jaguars running back situation with the emergence of Tank Bigsby.
It's a really good position for the team. They have 2 guys that can go out there and the offense doesn't miss a beat. It doesn't diminish Travis' talent and what he's capable of doing. He's just been a bit banged up. But for the team, again, I will put emphasis on it's good to have a 2-headed monster sort of approach where those guys can spell each other from time to time and also continue a high competitive interest amongst each other. That'll just make them both better.
Fred Taylor this morning on The Drill. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, we will get to today's question today, a little what the voting is and how we feel about it. But think about this for a moment. Take a minute and prioritize the options in here, because we may end up with the same top answer. The options, you've got 2 on offense, 2 on defense. If you could make a starting lineup change, if you're going to, what would be the likelihood that you do one of these compared to the others. You got Brown over Darby at corner. You got Miller over Lloyd at linebacker. On offense, you got Little over Robinson at left tackle or Bigsby over Etienne at running back. So we'll do that in a minute. I think we got Stephen Melbourne figured out. Is he out of the hurricane, Dylan?
Possibly.
Steve,
what are the odds?
Watch out for incoming winds. What can we do for you this morning?
I'm sorry. A customer started talking to me right as
Dang
you
it,
buzzed
those
me in.
pesky customers. I can't believe you have to work for a living.
No, my question is basically, I think Brown should go over Darby because I think the future is Campbell, Brown, and Jones as our corners. And two, I just wanted to get your all thoughts. Like, what kind of game would Walker Little have to even get a flicker of maybe we should have him in consideration? Maybe we can get something for Cam. Maybe have him as a starter because 22, he came in, he played good. He started in 23 because Cam got suspended. He was a top 5 left tackle in the league, but they put Cam back in. I respect Doug's choice of you can't lose your spot over injury, but it does happen all the time. So I just wanted your thoughts on what kind of game would you also have to see out of Walker to maybe get that consideration.
All right, thanks, Steve. I would say I'd have to get an offer that would even make me kind of sit up and go, that's interesting, right? Like if you're going to give me a 5th or a conditional 6th-round pick, I have no interest because the health of Trevor Lawrence is more important to me than that extra late pick.
It's watching Walker Little play as well as he did when he got thrown into the lineup this week is why you'd have to get an offer that makes you go, okay, maybe this is worth considering. It's
right,
that,
like for Cam, though, he's talking about.
For somebody, right? For either of those guys, honestly.
If somebody came and offered me a 2nd-rounder, I'd trade Cam tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I would.
Right.
Or today.
Without hesitation.
But it would take a strong pick because there is something to having, it's really cool to have 2 left tackles that can play. That can turn into 0 in a hurry, or it can turn into 1 and scary in a hurry.
Then you're like everybody else. You're a heartbeat away from big trouble potentially, or you're going to flip Anton to the left side in the middle of the season, or what are you going to do? Cole Van Lanen, whatever. But I'm not saying he's untouchable. Like I've already seen enough from Walker Little that if Cam were to get injured today, and not wishing that at all, but if he were and he were out for an extended period of time, I wouldn't be like, oh, we're downgrading. I feel like it's a lateral move.
They're
basically.
Fine. Yeah.
They're fine, exactly. Yeah. And obviously they feel a little stronger about Cam because he continues to every year win that left tackle job if it's even a competition. But I'm not to me the potential of needing to go to the next guy is too great with. What you don't want, even if it's a lost season, you don't want Trevor Lawrence getting crushed in late November and having a long offseason rehab the next year. I want to protect him as well as possible. They've done a good job with that. Really, the last 3 weeks, a large part of that has been Cam.
Yep.
But, Walker Little off the bench played very well. But, we're going to get a higher level of competition over the next 4 to 5 weeks. But again, there's a price, right? I mean, we'd all trade a lot of guys probably for a lot of things. I'm not into these
I think
crazy,
there's definitely a price.
Yeah, with Cam, right?
Yes.
I don't even know if a 3rd would move the needle for him because they had the extra 3rd and 4th. Although, you thought Minnesota wasn't going to be this good. We thought those picks might be a little bit better. But regardless, it was still.
I think a 3rd would probably do it. A 4th.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, just because some of it
how
too.
About a 3rd with a possibility
you win twice
of being a
before
2nd.
The trade deadline.
Yeah,
and maybe that changes, right?
Maybe it does,
so,
right?
But a 3rd feels like it would be hard. It would be hard to turn that down.
Yeah, they will play 2 more times before the trade deadline, right? So if you were to beat Green Bay Philly back to back here, which by the way we didn't talk about it yesterday, but much of my partial delight, no longer Sunday Night Football for the Philadelphia game. Couldn't quite move that thing to 1 p.m., could you, though, huh? Had to leave it in the 4 o'clock window, but anyway.
Couldn't quite get it at home at 1 p.m.? Is that
right. I mean, home or road really doesn't make a difference to me.
Right.
I'm just thinking it's more about the time frame. I like the rhythm of the 1 o'clock games on Sunday.
Yep.
It's just how it is, and I know for everybody else that you don't have to agree with me. This is my personal feeling
17 1 o'clock home game. That's the ideal schedule.
For me, yes, I'm with you there. Could we make them at noon, actually? That would still allow me to sleep in just a little bit and get done that much earlier. That would be fantastic. All right, Dylan, if you would.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, I got my order on here. It's close to the voting order, but I'll see if you guys match it. Let you go first, Johnny O. Do you have all the options in your head? Okay.
I would go Ventrell.
Over Lloyd is your top.
Over Lloyd, I'd go Monteric. Probably Little. I guess over Cam. I don't feel as strongly about the second two.
Okay, and then the last one would be Bigsby over ETN.
Yeah, because to me, Bigsby, ETN, I think they're going to share carries. I think the challenge for the coaches all year has been what's the best balance there. I think it'll continue to be. I don't really care who starts and who doesn't in terms of whatever the situation calls for. I think makes sense in that situation.
Okay.
I like Tank. I like them both. But I think both of them are going to play extensively, so who starts isn't going to matter.
So you go Ventrell, Monteric, Walker Little, Bigsby in that order. What about you, Tony?
I would go Ventrell, Monteric, 1-2. The 3-4, I'm with you, John. It's kind of hard to determine in my mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't start Walker over Cam, by the way.
Exactly.
Right, but if you were going to consider these, that would be
so I'd probably
order.
even put that fourth.
Because I'm with you at the running back position. It's a bit odd to talk about starter, right, in that kind of role, because I do think different games have different game plans. What do we need early on, right? Like if you get into a game where you feel like, well, we might need to throw the ball to ETN on the first play of the game, right? Like, and that's not outside the realm of possibility. Then, yeah, he should be the starter that week over Tank Bigsby. And I do think that's all game plan kind of dependent on exactly how they feel about games going week to week. So I'd probably have the Little over Robinson third and the Bigsby ETN thing fourth on that list. But I do the gap between 3 and 4 there for me are so small because I look at Bigsby ETN as they're one machine, right? Like that's what it feels like for the Jags at this point in the 2024 season.
That'd be a good T-shirt. Yeah, one machine.
Yeah, Little Robinson, like one of those guys is playing left tackle and the other isn't. And as we just said, I don't think they're hurt with either one playing. I don't think they get a big advantage with either one of those guys on the field necessarily.
I would agree with you guys. Ventrell over Lloyd, I think is very possible that it will be that case, right? And I would also put Monteric over Darby. In fact, almost left them out of the poll to do a kind of all or none of the above option right there if you wanted to go that way. But he is second in the poll right now. I would put Bigsby over ETN as third on my list because I feel like the Little Robinson thing is there's no real change here. Right. I think they're equally capable of doing the job. I don't feel the need to go to Walker Little. I like the luxury of having him, but I feel like Bigsby has basically outplayed ETN so far this year. And if you're doing it on merit, and again, it may not matter. I'm not saying ETN doesn't get touches. It's interesting because a lot of times you say, okay, a guy with the ETN skill set, the better pass catcher, is going to be the guy coming off the bench, right? Because he plays more on third downs and in obvious passing situations, 2-minute drill, much like Justice Hill with obviously, he's not the skill set of Derrick Henry, but, that kind of impact. But you also have the idea that, okay, we score early and then we bring in the bruiser, right? And you start to try to wear teams down as the game goes along. So I'm not like hung up on this switch, but if I'm doing it strictly on who I think has played better this year, I think Bigsby has played better than ETN. Sure. And what Bigsby needs to do is he needs to get on that damn jugs machine, man, and needs to improve those hands. It can improve, right? I mean, he just hasn't been an asset in the passing game.
Too also needs
that is another area.
It's still difficult to play Tank in
third and medium or
a
long.
lot of passing situations and a lot of passing sets they have, which does lead to defenses sort of knowing what you're probably going to do in terms of your tendencies. So it's another reason why I think they're very low to come out and say Tank's our starter because there's looks where they are going to play either D'Ernest or ETN depending on who's healthy.
Right, and D'Ernest got plenty of run in this game because he is the guy if they're going to use. They threw one to Bigsby early on. They're like, all right, well he checked, dropped it. All right, we're good. We've seen it. Right now, 44.5% going to Miller over Lloyd. 21. The rest of it's pretty even here. Brown over Darby getting 21%. Little over Robinson getting almost 18%, and about 17% say Bigsby over ETN. So pretty good representative sample there. But I had a feeling that Ventrell over Lloyd would be the top option on there. And that's where things stand. If you haven't voted already, you can go to @MD_1010XL and cast your ballot and just be part of the democratic process like that. Let's say hello to Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you. Mia.
Hello.
Did I ever tell you about my niece, Sydney? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Her best friend when she was, I don't know, like 7 or something,
Yeah.
maybe 6, was named Mia.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so anytime a game was on TV and Miami was playing, they had the
Say less.
abbreviation, right?
Say less.
And she'd see it on TV, she'd go, Mia. And so.
No, literally. That was as a 5-year-old.
That's how I hear your name in my head sometimes.
As a 4 or 5-year-old, I think one of my first memories of watching the National Football League, Mike, was actually watching a Miami Dolphins game because my uncle's brother is a huge Dolphins fan. And so I remember watching it and saying, oh, my
name's
goodness,
on TV.
there's my name.
Look at me.
Which is why when people see my Mia hat, they're like, oh, my God, it's hacker all over again. You have a hacker hat. And I say, no. I saw it at Francesca's. It's Miami.
No, it's a hacker hat.
And it was just too awesome to say no to, John. Come on
Does
now.
it mention anything about being kind of a big deal?
No, it just simply says MIA, and it's denim, and I don't have a lot of denim hats.
You know,
so
he's
that's
got
why
that
I
one
bought
in the Disney font now.
Yes, he does.
I'm kind of a big deal in the Disney font, which is nice. You want to branch out.
He marches to his own drum.
All right, Mia, answer our poll question here. If
Yeah.
you could make one of these starting lineup changes for the Jaguars, you see the options I've got in front of you. Which one would you make, if any, for that matter?
I mean, the obvious is number 2, Ventrell Miller over Devin Lloyd. From Doug Peterson's comments this morning, though, it was he kind of said both, if that makes sense. He suggested that even if you're not the quote-unquote best football player, but you do the job the best, you should play over the quote-unquote best football player, but then followed that up by saying that he anticipates more rotations at linebacker because they're healthy at that position, and he feels that Devin Lloyd has taken a step further this week. So I would love to say that one, but I believe there will still be rotation there, and so I would love to see another week of Walker Little just to see if he can replicate the performance that he had last week. And look, obviously we hope Cam Robinson's okay. Concussions are, a serious medical condition. But I'm curious if he could put back-to-back performances on tape that looked like last week. And this one, of course, against a significantly more difficult pass rush in the Green Bay Packers, then perhaps you have a conversation there.
Well, perhaps you do. What conversations will you be having today on your show?
Ooh, well, we will dive into the Green Bay Packers. Haven't really looked at that matchup too much up until now, and so we will look at that. We will also look at the trades and, of course, the impending trade deadline, what players could be on the move, reflecting upon the DeAndre Hopkins trade earlier this morning, as well as Mia's My Bookie picks, which maybe we'll have a little bit of World Series action, Mike.
Maybe. I would not ever bet on my team. I
would not either.
There's enough angst when they lose that I don't need that.
I
on top of
prefer
it.
during the ALDS or the wild card. Like I was looking at some My Bookie lines then because the Yankees weren't playing, and so I was like, we can do a Lane Thomas anytime hit. That's a lot more fun than trying to rely on the team that is truly the Cardiac Cats.
All right. Well, have a good show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mia O'Brien and the Helmets and Heels crew coming your way for the next 2 hours. John, what do you have cooking for yourself? I know you got the Huddle Up podcast coming.
Huddle Up podcast today at 4 with Bucky Brooks and the scheduled guest for the Ozone podcast, which drops. The kids say drops, Johnny.
They used to.
Right.
By the time
kids.
we know what they say, it's cycled out, okay?
Should be Tank Bigsby, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah, we will as well. All right. Johnny O from Jaguars.com, their senior writer, with us every Wednesday. Tomorrow, Deep Pockets D-Rock coming in. Tony, you know what? We almost wore the same shirt today, but you know what happens on days we don't wear the same shirt?
What's that?
D-Rock buys us breakfast the next day. So D-Rock, looking forward to that, pal. And we've had a big controversy in the scoring this week. We'll tell you all about it tomorrow on the program. Huge, Dylan, huge controversy. Probably the biggest we've ever heard of with the breakfast bowl.
Since I've been here,
right?
yes.
All right, there you go. So
But
we'll unveil the controversial outcome on the program tomorrow. For John Oesher, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Everybody stop by. D-Rock's buying everybody in Duval breakfast tomorrow. Just one tiny nibble, though. That'll be tomorrow. We'll talk